Today, I'm going to share with you a really passionate, beautiful woman and students and trainers journey with you, Madison. Um, Madison is, let's just say she's a bit of a go-getter, having worked for College Australia and also studied with College Australia for over 5 years now. I guess our CEO, Kynan Hansen, saw something really sparkly about her and helped support her to transition out of the hospitality industry into administration, and then furthering her career and her studies in training and education. Smashing it, she became one of our most popular trainers. So welcome, Madison, to joining us today. And I guess I'll just hand over to you, and if you can share a little bit about your story at College Australia with us.
Yeah, no worries. So I've actually known our CEO Kynan for a little while now, just through working in the hospitality industry, and I've always had an interest in teaching. So even in my late teens and early 20s, being a dance teacher and just always kind of being passionate about helping people. I know that sounds very cliche. And I guess just the opportunity just came to me, kind of offered if I would be interested in doing a traineeship with him. And I was so grateful for that opportunity. And then it all happened very quickly. One thing led to the next, and I was doing my TAE to become a trainer and assessor. And then here I am now, was looking after 3 classrooms last year of about 30 students each, plus school-based trainees, and just extremely grateful and lucky to have connected with that passion of working with young people and supporting them, yes, in receiving an education and a qualification, but I think just being an adult figure in young people's life that isn't quite a teacher, not a parent, and that was just extremely rewarding. So, yeah.
Wonderful. What an amazing journey. So, having transitioned out of hospitality and sort of having this big, wide world of administration, and getting sort of passionate about your study, etc. It really and then moving into training and education, or training and assessment. It really has been quite a transition for you, and quite a change. How did you find that sort of your study supported you through that?
I think so. When I transitioned from the hospitality industry into my traineeship, I'd kind of come from doing small event coordination. And so I think going from the hospitality and kind of starting to really try and blend those two mindsets together with administration and scheduling, and those sorts of things, and just finding another confidence and another way to, I guess, articulate myself was the best thing that I got from doing that that traineeship with the business administration. I knew that I was extremely capable of articulating myself in a verbal way. But I think the biggest thing I got from it was still having my personality in the way that I like to communicate with people, but say in an email, or even on the phone. I think the funniest thing I remember early into my traineeship, working with my manager Casey, who as well knew me so bright and bubbly and confident in hospitality. And when I had to start making phone calls, I just I think I cried once. I got so nervous. And I was just it took me by surprise, I think. So to have that opportunity to, be a little bit afraid and a little bit uncomfortable, but in that being in a traineeship when it's all about that, I was extremely grateful for, and to be so supported to be I feel nervous and I don't know why, but it's a different platform, it's a different medium. And so I think that's the biggest thing in doing some of the traineeships is the phone. We have to actually do like a role play where I call the student when we go through it that way. And I use that story when it's like, it's completely valid to feel this way. I'm like, I don't know what it is about, getting on the phone or even writing an email. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learnt from that traineeship was the different mediums and how you communicate does affect us. And so you need that opportunity to practice, basically. Yeah.
It's beautiful to and very powerful to be supported in a space like in a I'm just going to say in a space like that, because it's sort of like that saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. Quite often when there's something that we haven't done before, we absolutely, we feel it's a bit of excitement, it's a bit of fear. And I think that it's really quite powerful and potent that you are supported through that when you're feeling that, or you were with College Australia. So that's wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about what your life what Madison's life looked like before even College Australia came about? Like, where were you at? How were you feeling in your life? You're in hospitality at the time. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, so we'll just let you tell me what you felt.
So when I was in hospitality, I think coming from a strong background in performing and dancing and being on the stage, I think hospitality is very similar to that. I worked in more of a nightlife environment as well, so pubs, nightclubs, gaming rooms, and you're constantly on show. You're that person that, yes, you need to have a responsibility and be in control, but you also create the atmosphere. And that's something that I really blend in when I'm training the responsible service of alcohol in gaming units. It's like you are the ringmaster, basically. And so I think that's how I felt in hospitality, always needing to have a strong front and to be that bright, bubbly person all the time. It got very exhausting. So I started working in hospitality from when I was about 14. So by the time I started this traineeship, it had been over 10 years that I'd been working in hospitality and predominantly doing night work as well. So yeah, I was a bit nocturnal. And so I think, the biggest thing was being that nightlife person and then needing to become a day walker is what you would call them in hospitality. So that was it was interesting. It wasn't just starting something like a new job. It was being a new person, basically, because, the way that you conduct yourself in those environments, it's very busy, it's very loud, like you constantly need to be on alert. And so taking those skills but putting it in a more business environment, I think. Yeah, it was a bit tricky at first, but there's no doubt that I use both of those avenues within my career at the same time. Yeah.
That's awesome, Madison. I guess, it's from reading between the lines there, I guess what you're saying is that, it was an exciting life, in hospitality for you and for many years. And, you really thrived in that industry and in that work. And then I guess, am I right in saying that there came a time where you just felt like there was a need for a shift and a change, and then sort of it was about, learning and discovering how to utilize those skills in your study to create a career shift.
Absolutely. Actually, so the point was, my partner and I had just returned from being overseas for about 4 weeks, and she proposed overseas. And I remember talking to Casey one day. She was in as a patron for lunch one day, and I just kind of remember saying to her, like, I love it here, but I'm like, I need to change. Like, I really need to change, and I feel like the time is right. And she kind of looked at me and was like, hang on, I'll be back. And now I know that's when she said to Kynan, like, yeah, like she's ready to change. And that's kind of when they were said, let's give her a go. Let's give her the position of a traineeship within our workplace. Yeah, it was amazing.
I guess that's probably something that's quite familiar to a lot of our students is that, when you get that knowing, that feeling that you're ready to change, that's when you know that it's the time. Like let's commit to this. So how would you say that your life has evolved since studying and since working with College Australia? Are there any epic shifts, big breakthroughs, light bulb moments?
I think having the confidence that I do love to learn in a more analytical academic sense. To be quite frank, when I was at school, I never had the self-belief that I would um, do further education or further study. And, I think in such a short time, I now am more confident in my intellect and my capacity to learn. But I had to figure out how to do it my way. And I think that's the biggest thing I love with vocational education is the student has, they need to step up. They need to have an involvement and a responsibility within their education. Us as a trainer, we're there to help you and to guide you. And, I'm pretty hands-on especially with my my trainees, but at the same time, it comes down to them at the end of the day. Do you want to do this? And so if you want to do it, I can only lead you halfway. I can make the phone meetings, or I can come out and see you in the workplace, but you need to do the work. And if you need help, I think it's helping. It helped me as well to have a responsibility to get things done and to take ownership over that, which is actually giving power to the student. And it's our job as trainers to assist them in gaining the qualification. But I think, and talking to a lot of trainers here at College Australia as well, you also kind of indirectly teach them or show them or help them how to be organised.
Sure. Yeah.
You can't even if you are doing hospitality or retail, you can't complete that qualification without those other elements in there. I think that it comes across, and I think it's really important, a very rewarding thing as well.
Absolutely. So true. Absolutely. Now, how would you, in so many words, describe your essence, the essence of your time with College Australia?
I think I grew a lot. I started in my early 20s, and I'm kind of leaving in my later 20s. So I've grown up a lot, and I think that's I say that to my grade 12s that are leaving. It's like, you are about to go through such a period of growth, and it's like you have an idea of who you are, but you don't know yet, and you kind of, the training wheels are gone. And I think I do my best to consciously capture that when I'm in those training spaces, especially in the classroom setting that I'm in as well, because I just want to kind of acknowledge where they are and try and engage my students that way. And I think that helps them understand. I'm trying to make the material more tangible and more real life, because I often do train, the tourism or the hospitality qualifications that, I do believe these people will use, whether they do have ambitions to go to uni or further study, or whether they do have ambition to go in the hospitality industry. You got to make the materials real and relatable. And so I try and work in that essence of, you're going to use this in the future. Like, this isn't just something to get you by for the next whatever. This is useful for you in one way or another. So, yeah.
So I guess it's like, I guess what you're describing here is that it's like, you're going out into, you're about to create something amazing. That being you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And yet, I guess the essence of your experience with College Australia is that you were supported through that, and that even though it may have felt like there was an unknown, so to speak, that it's sort of really quite loved up, I guess.
Yeah.
In some way.
Yeah.
You're supported through those changes and those epic changes, which is really super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I wanted to ask you was, what was it like to be involved in the greater College Australia community, like as a student, I guess?
I think it was when I first started, I was the real baby of the team in many ways. Yes, my age in general, but as in stepping into a completely new industry. And within that industry, so many different avenues. It wasn't like we are an RTO that just train in business. Like, we have so many different qualifications, and it was a lot to take in. But I never felt nervous to ask questions. And I don't think I really needed to, because there were so many people that were like, if you need a hand with anything, let me know, or showing me things. Or if I was to do something, they'd be like, I'm going to show you the way I do it, but you need to figure out how you do it. And that's something that Casey said a lot to me, and still says a lot to me now. Like, this is the way it's done, or this is the way I do it, but it's important that you figure out the way you do it. And even still, now I'm still, I guess, like the baby of us trainers. I'm so lucky to have so many mentors that I just will call, hey, how do you do this again? Or this is what I'm thinking of, organizing this way. How would you do it? And even when I started entering the space of classroom training with one of our trainers, Alina, that was super rewarding. And I think I really connected with the way that she communicated with her students. So it's it was amazing. Yeah. Like, I had so much support from everybody.
Yeah. It's sort of, I guess, it's, in a way, it's like, here's how to create it, but here's your brilliance. This is, let us show you where your brilliance is.
Yeah.
And then you find, as a student, you found that your own way of doing things as well, and creating that brilliance. And
absolutely,
that's what building a career is about, really, at the end of the day, and building your tools in your toolkit from an educational point of view.
Yeah.
So a little birdie tells me you are about to be off to do some greater things. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're shifting your career next?
So I am about to start my Bachelor of Behavioural Science at QUT.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Very exciting.
It is very exciting, yeah. Yeah.
And how are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling ready for the challenge. And I definitely, this all kind of came to fruition around about this time last year. I knew, and I felt, I guess, to be honest, very conflicted, because I loved what I was doing and where I was and who I was with. but I definitely couldn't fight the fact that it was time for me to take the next step, or to, I guess, what I've experienced and what I've seen in within the public education system, that I wanted to be a part of it, but in a different way. I still haven't quite figured out what it is that I want to do or meant to do, but I know that with this degree specifically, it's about why we do things. It's a very kind of approaching things with why and how and what do we do. So it's the first kind of step that you would take on your way to be a psychologist. I don't know if I want to be a psychologist necessarily. I am encapsulating counselling in the degree, but I'm not sure where it wants to take me. I just think, we're so lucky in this country to have such an amazing public education system, and even within vocational education, to take those principles and somehow work it in.
Absolutely. And how cool is it that you've gone from hospitality to administration to training and education, and you've been supported the whole way through that change and that epic growth in not only in building your skills and your knowledge, but also in you, like, and because you change through that as well. So I think that's awesome. I'm in awe of your journey. I guess, what would you say to somebody that was considering studying with College Australia?
I would say connect with your trainer, talk to us. Even in the past year with, students that were adult learners, whether they were in a recognition of prior learning, or they themselves were wanting to transition from retail into administration. We are here to help you. We are real people with real experiences that want to connect with you. And I have met some amazing people. Like, I really have, even just phone meetings. I think especially with College Australia as well, because we are a very intimate business. We're a smaller business. We are a real people here that just generally want to help with it, the transition or whatever you want to learn. So connect with us, reach out to us as we will reach out to you, because we may have been where you are before, or we may have experienced something like that. That's the biggest thing I can say to anyone that's wanting to work with us as a student is get to know us, because we want to get to know you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Look, thank you so much for your time today, Madison. It's been fabulous learning a little bit more about you and sharing your journey with everyone. So thank you very much. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.